Hi there, everyone. I am Dani Henderson, and welcome back to my beautiful channel. My guest today is the one and only MARCELA VELASCO. I've had her on my channel before about 18 months ago, and she's going to tell you how we met. I have to tell you guys, and MARCELA, you're now host, my love, so you can record and do everything you need to your end, and we are now recording. I have to tell you guys that sometimes you meet people, you don't know what it is about them, but your heart can feel them. Your heart is reading them. MARCELA is one of those people, and the last time I recorded with her at the end, I was crying because she just is so full of love. Now, you keep asking out there, you guys, you keep saying, the ship's going to land. Are we going to see all the ETs landing? They're already here. They're already here. And you're looking at one of them. And she's a real Andromedan. And her name is MARCELA VELASCO. Over to you, my darling angel.
Thank you so much, Dani, for having me in your show today.
Pleasure. Tell people how we met and turn up your audio, darling.
Like I think 2 or 3 years ago, I attended a conference in Mount Shasta. I was a guest speaker there. And then I also realized that Collier was speaker there. And for me, that was amazing because when I was growing up and then I got into my Andromeda contact world, I always read his books, half in English, half in Spanish, because at that time I didn't speak English very well. And I never thought I was going to meet him. So he was in that conference and I introduced myself and I asked him if he could be present in my conference. And then you were with him. So that's how we met, through Collier, and that was a gift.
Yeah, it really was. It was amazing because he said to me, "Oh, what time is it?" We were like hanging out with him and me and Tony Rodriguez and Brad Olson and I think Laura Eisenhower. And then he said to me, "Oh, what time is it?" I'm like, "This time." He goes, "Oh my gosh, I need to see this lady, this Andromedan lady." So we ran in to watch your presentation, which was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And every time he spoke, he was like, "Yeah. Yeah." And so I had never heard at that moment, because all of us, it's so funny to me, MARCELA, because people are like, they're all these galactic, they've all got galactic PhDs these days. They'd never heard of Andromeda, Naturu, the different Ahoro, all of these different words we've learned. No one knew a thing about it, but now they're all experts. Anyway, I'd never heard about the blue sun in the Andromeda galaxy until I saw you on stage sharing it. I'm looking at Alex to see if it's true, and he's nodding. And he even had his hand on his heart because he was so happy to see a really honest Andromedan lady standing and delivering messages from his home planet. Was beautiful. So of course I had to connect with you, and this is now the second time I've had the delight of having you on my channel. I know you've gone through an awful lot the last 18 months. I know you lost your darling dad, but would you like to share a little about where you are in the world right now and what's been happening with the light overnight?
I'm in Cusco, Peru right now, and that's where I was born, and I'm right now here taking care of my mother. My father passed away at the end of April this year. It was very fast. But my father was a galactic being. Everything that I learned from metaphysical world and contactee world was from him when I was very little. Although he wasn't really into contact, but everything he did was part of a galactic person on Earth. So when he passed away, I remember I didn't say he died. I said he was taken into Andromeda. And what I'm doing now is learning how galactic beings, when they cross over, they continue their mission on the other side. Either if you choose to go back into the light, or you choose to keep on mission to help people on Earth. So now my dad is one of my Andromeda guides. He went back to Andromeda. And I'm learning the way also that human beings transcend, how they can manifest. I have my dad in all my photos also, my contact photos. You know, he always shows up as a holographic image, either on my heart or next to me, or guiding my path, or right now, as I was telling you a little bit before, my house is full, my parents' home, it's full of orbs and golden light and spheres that for me represent Andromeda. So every night it's just I'm getting fed by that light to continue what we're supposed to do, because we're all here on a mission. It's a mission of light and mission of unconditional love.
Oh my gosh, Marcela, that's so beautiful, the way that you explain it. And I know you're going to show us some of your photos. You just have an ability to call in the light of Andromeda, the light beings, and they show up in eyes or heart symbols or the sky. And there's such a body of knowledge. So you are living in Cusco in Peru. I've had the honor of being there, traveling around, going to Lima, going up to Machu Picchu. It is such a sacred site. I mean, Peru, the Andes, crossing into Bolivia, Lake Titicaca. We're really bringing together the story, the true history of our planet in many different levels. Why do you feel, other than, of course, now you're caring for your mother, you were caring for your daddy, up until his passing, why do you feel that, in particular, your Andromedan energy is anchored there in this great city, Cusco? Is there a connection to the Andromedans?
Well, first of all, I would like to explain to you and your audience who are the light beings that I'm in contact with. I always talk about the blue sun of Andromeda in the galaxy of Andromeda, because that's a portal to the world. They live in a universe within Andromeda. And this universe belongs to a very high frequency where I cannot even say what kind of dimension or frequency they live in, because it's very, very high. So when I talk to them, I learn that they call themselves the creators of life, and I call them the same. They explained to me that Andromeda in a galactic language means creators of life in different universes and different worlds. So these beings, I call them light beings because they don't have physical bodies. They do have their own physicality in the world. In ours, wouldn't be possible. So they just light. And I think they would be very close to what we call Elohims, or the masters of creation. So they move in very high realms. I am not one of them, but I was chosen by them to be sent to Earth to complete a mission. And I'm here on a very individual and private mission of reconnecting all the sacred places, all the ley lines, all the inner temples. The intraterrestrial world is so connected to the extraterrestrial world through us. So that's when I open portals for different regions. I travel all over the world, but home, it's here. I began my contact with different beings and different galaxies when I was very young. But this being, a female being that actually is part of me because of her consciousness, showed up in my life in 2003. And of course, they requested me to be prepared in many different ways. So I had to go through 33 steps that I call them, the 33 steps to a galactic consciousness. And they're very simple. I was always waiting for a list of things to complete, and it never happened. So it was basically whatever you feel for a week, for 2 weeks, that's one of those steps. And between all of those, I would say that the no ego part and the humbleness is one of the hardest, because you have to go even through your own ego to learn how to be humble completely, right? And then silence and forgiveness, and then the connection, deeply connection with the earth, with Mother Earth and everything, so you can feel everything. You were asking me about my photos, and usually I take photos for myself, so I can have in a picture what I'm seeing, what is in front of me, what is inside my eyes that is being reflected for people. They talk a lot about the sound of silence, and sometimes people ask me, what is that? And I always say that the sound of silence is that inside, so within yourself, that you know that that's the sound of silence when you're a complete alignment to yourself and with everything else. I travel all over the world doing different things. I also learned how to be metaphysical to understand. I was trained in different Andromeda ships for healing, for all kinds of different things, and that's what I do. but I call Andromeda home, my Andromeda base, what it was my family's ranch, that now it's became a mine. Because it was so isolated and it was over 15,000 feet high. Nothing grows there. There was nobody there. So that was very simple for them to land. So we can see the ships in many different ways. Physical as crafts, metallic crafts, then as plasma ships, and then as they are energy ships. And that's how everything started. And I still try to go back every year on the day that I started in 2010. And I'm ready to go back on Saturday to what it was my ranch again. So that's what I do when I'm in Peru, go to sacred places. They're all connected, solar temples connected to the blue sun of Andromeda. And there are many places on Earth that actually they're connected to Andromeda. And I'm just a messenger. And when I do my presentations or conferences, sometimes I always say that I'm a link between worlds, because that's what I do, just connecting the intraterrestrial, the extraterrestrial, and in the extraterrestrial world, the ET world, there's so much beyond that we don't know. And all of that needs to be connected so we can learn. And I try to teach people the basic. Contact is not about lights, it's not about the phenomena, it's not about watching the sky, it's all about feeling inside, knowing that even you're calling them and maybe they're in front of you and you don't see them. And they're making all kinds of little things, little details, so you can pay attention and people don't. That's what I always say also, that sometimes they're miniature like this, there's sparkles of light, there's sound, there's a smell, and all those little things that you learn with time, you know, how to read them, how to understand them. And I think that's what contact is about.
Yeah, so many different layers and levels of actual contact. And we've been so programmed to look outside, up in the sky, at church, at school, through a lover, all these different ways. And I really think it's one of the tragedies of the 20th and 21st century is that the spirituality was hijacked. The natural beauty in us, the natural ability we all have to connect to source, to God, to spirit, has been so hijacked and then systemized and organized into different groups of religion and thinking. And yet all along, it's like we had the red shoes on. We had the glittery red shoes of Oz that Dorothy wears, where we were always connected to home, because home is here.
Yeah, home is within and home is in the heart.
Yeah.
And one of the thing is that between all the contactee world, and I think that applies to the whole planet, there's a lot of competition, and shouldn't be, because we're all here on a mission. We're all working together. We're all working with the same purpose.
Yeah.
You know, we still have to go beyond that.
Well,
we still have to learn all that.
Well, some of us are here with the same purpose. I heard a funny story the other day. Well, so many funny stories. There was a girl at the GISIC conference who came to say that, you know, I am a reptilian queen. Like, what is wrong with people? It's hilarious. I'm a reptilian queen, apparently, and the conferences. It's like, oh, shut up. Here's a curly whirly or lollipop. Sit down and calm your knickers down. You know, you shouldn't be here if you're going to come and, like, you know, leave skid marks everywhere. But it is this sense of, I think sometimes even when people are negative, there's something in them trying to birth, trying to wake up. And they're going to get there through their pain and their wounding and their agony and their grief. And they're showing up like that. They're showing up and attacking at a place of love and connection because they're so wounded. We're all so wounded. We're all so hurt. We're all so traumatized. And we're all going to get where we're going on a path that we choose. And if that path is pain and fighting against a light that you want it to be bad because that darkness is in you, that's going to be your journey. Now, you mentioned that you're taking people to your ranch in Peru on Saturday.
I used to in the past. I haven't done it in a while.
Okay, well, clearly, my darling, it is time. We need you. We need your conferences. We need your gatherings. People need MARCELA VELASCO, do they not?
Thank you. Well, I always think that that everything is guided. I follow guidance. When it's time, I think it's the right time.
Yeah.
I don't push anything for myself. I don't even use my name. Sometimes I always say, you just need to listen to my voice without even knowing who's talking, when I'm directing a meditation or doing a contact ceremony. I always call them ceremonies because I think that's what they are. We need to connect first with the land, request the permission of the elders, of the keepers of the land before making contact, and trying to put everything together, because at the end we're all one and we're doing the same thing in different levels and different dimensions and frequencies.
Yeah. When you're ready to do your next gatherings, I'll be so happy to have you come back and tell us the dates, the place, and I invite everybody out there watching, get Marcela on your channel, help her. She's a real Andromedan. You can feel her. It's so funny. The other day we tried to do this, you and I, and my internet got yanked down for 5 hours. Insanity. I couldn't even text you to say, oh my God, the internet went down. And we were completely blocked. And then today I get on with you again. And then the impulsing between us, there's a screen, but it's energy to energy. And I can feel you and feel around you. And I'm like, as you know, I was crying. It's tears of love and tears of joy. And there's just something always about the Andromedan energy, because you get to learn to feel the differences, and some of them are subtle, but the Andromedan frequency for me really is the highest that I've experienced so far. And that's why I get so emotional. But I feel like this when I'm with Alex too. There are times when I'm with him physically in person with Alex Collier, and I've sat with him and he's being tearful himself, moved by something, and he just emits and emits and emits. And he's a giant of a man, as you know. There are other times when I'll watch him on his Friday show, which is alexcollier.org, and everyone should be on that webinar every single Friday. It's 3 Fridays a month he does, because he does not hold back, as you know. And then sometimes it's like the laugh that he does, or it's the tone after the tone, or it's the spaces within the spaces of when Alex Collier speaks. Plus he's got his human side, and we can all be little shits. We all know that. Let's not lie. We're not perfect. God, there's no such thing as perfect anyway. But you and him, like you both my favorite Andromedans in the whole world. Now let's talk a little bit. You're welcome, babe. You're welcome. You're so beautiful. Let's talk a little bit about what we started the other day, when you were giving just a little insight into how people can connect. You were remember you were taking us through some of the steps to actually, for people individually, to connect. And then please go ahead.
First thing, yeah, I remember I was telling you that the first thing would be that people connect to themselves first. A lot of people know how to meditate. I use that. If they don't, just learn how to close your eyes, go inside, because I think the mind plays a lot of issues with us. And if we learn how to be silent and silence the mind and go within and just touch your heart, that would be the first step. And then knowing that contact is not about phenomena. It's not being outside for hours looking at the sky. Well, if you're outside looking at the sky, close your eyes. Feel it, feel the presence around you, feel the light. It's there. Feel the magnificence of that and integrate it into your heart. So if people learn how to do that, everything else is going to be very simple. And when many people say, oh, I saw a chef and I connected to a being and they told me this, they told me that. I always say also, well, find out who they are, find out why they chose you, what is their relationship, why they want to talk to you, why you want to talk to them, and create a relationship and learn. Because usually when these beings approach somebody and start creating a relationship based on unconditional love and respect, they're teaching us things. And if we already know them, they're making us remember what we don't remember. So we can complete the mission that we're here for, or if we're not on a mission, to learn what we have to do to help others fulfill their missions. I think it's very simple once we know that contact is about ourselves first, connecting to ourselves and not just being outside. Starts within.
Yeah, so beautiful. Do you want to share your screen and show us some of your images?
Well, we'll try to see if it works.
Yeah, well, you have full control, so you shouldn't have an issue sharing everything because you are the host.
Well, I'm going to try to find my pictures here.
I'm just going to put us on pause for a minute while we get you set up properly. So, little technical hitch, which is fine, because we're going to invite you who want to see the travels, the trips, and the incredible light photos to come and join Marcela VELASCO on Facebook. And then you send her an invite or request to friend her, and she can then invite you to connect with her. And then we can allow for the photographs, the precious photographs, to be shown. So Marcela VELASCO. So guys, when you're watching this broadcast, just go underneath, and even if you copy and paste her name, which will be in the title of this video, go to Facebook, put it in. Is it still the image of you standing by the ocean or standing by mountains, like your main little profile picture?
Oh no, I have a scarf, but they can look me through your Facebook page.
Yeah, but
find my
yeah,
name.
I know. But then those that don't, because my Facebook's quite strict. I had a few nut jobs.
It goes also as I think the link is Angel Solar. It's like angel, but in English, angel sol, the solar, like sun. Angel Solar 55.
Okay. Do you have your phone next to you that you could pull Facebook up on your phone so you could literally hold the image? Because you know how you're trying to find someone and you're like, well, which picture is theirs?
Yeah.
You could do that to also give someone a, okay,
Yeah.
can't see it. Right, hold on. Right, put it up a little bit, stop. There you are, stop right there. Okay, everybody see that? Marcela VELASCO, there she is, beautiful face, images behind. Is that clouds behind you, Marcela?
Yes.
Okay,
It's water.
Great, darling. Thank you so much. Okay, great. You are welcome out there, you guys. You are welcome. You are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it's important. It's important. You've come here to do a body of work. You've been doing that work for so long. You've been, presented at conferences. You've been sharing. You've been holding space. You've been teaching people how to connect to the Andromedans, but also light beings. You don't just purely focus on the Andromedan love. You're a messenger. You're a connector. Who would you say? I know Alex Collier is a massive champion of yours. Oh, do you know what else I love about your story with him? I love the fact that you were learning English and you were reading his book, and it helped you not only learn English, but you were so guided. It's like the signature physical points that we lay down for ourselves. You were always meant to connect with Alex Collier, right?
Well, I never thought that I was going to meet him in person. So when I knew that he was also participating in that Mount Shasta conference, I thought that was a gift. So I went to him, and I remember I said, I know who you are. You're an Andromeda commander, and I know you in the heart. So I said, here's my card. And he said, oh, but the number is from Colorado. And I said, yes. And he said, well, I live in Colorado too. And that was a very deep connection, because actually there are not too many people from Andromeda or from Blue Sun of Andromeda, maybe it would be only me, that are here on Earth at this moment. And then when we meet, I think we recognize each other on the heart, and then in the eyes, sparkles of light. I was that day when I met you also, you left, and I was with him. And I said, look at the sphere that is coming down. And I took some pictures with a lot of golden rays over him and me. And I said, well, they're celebrating. Finally, we met each other here on Earth. And he's somebody that I respect very much. And of course, it was a gift for me to have met him.
Oh, I love that so much, Marcela. I love that so much. And also because in Alex Collier, and his explanation of his history here on the planet, when he came back and took on a physical human body, there were supposed to be 3 other people. They were, I think, believed they were all men, and he knew 1 or 2 of them, but none of the others stepped up. He did not step up and support him. So he's been this lone knight on his own for so long, and it's just so beautiful that he connected with you and you connected with him. Maybe if you can find that photo of that connection with the gold light and the sphere, that we can use that as our main thumbnail for this particular broadcast.
Oh, I sent it to him a while ago because I said, I just found this in my old phone as a memory of that day. And I said, Andromeda beings were so happy that we had finally met in this lifetime. If we didn't find each other before, we did. And for me, he's a big support for me because I know that he's there. Although, I mean, I don't talk to him very often. I haven't seen him again in a while, but if I need something, he's always there. And I ask him about all the experience that I'm learning through my father. And he said, yes, Andromeda beings go back to Andromeda if they're completed the time on Earth or they chose to go back, you know. And for me, that was just a reconfirmation of everything my father has been saying to me lately, because that's a total new experience for me. So Alex, it's a gift for me, you know, because I never thought I was going to meet the person that wrote all those books and the stories about Mornay and all that. I never thought, you know, that I was going to meet him one day. So that was just amazing.
And it's just so beautiful how things are meant to be, how they kind of flower out and how they gently kind of converse together to that symphony of connection that we do hope for, but we never, you know, we never know. And again, not forcing something like crazy, because, and again, recognizing the flow to something, the flowing, the energy, the proper flow of things, but also recognizing people that will stand in your way, you know, stand.
Well, besides, we're here on a mission, so everything that we do is being guided. Our paths are being guided on the right time, at the right place. And I believe that his guides and the place where he comes from, somehow they're related to my guides, you know. And even though I'm from Peru, but I live also in Colorado a few months a year. And then Alex lives in Colorado. So we carry that energy that it's anchored in the mountains.
Very, very interesting indeed. It really, really is. Wow. Can you tell us a little bit about your, I mean, imagine how so many people, as they're waking to their galactic heritage, their physical, mental, spiritual, emotional heritage, and they're finding out, and some of them, you know, am I Pleiadian, am I Sirian, am I Arcturian, am I Andromedan? And of course, really, we should be really celebrating being human at this time, because we've come back to, you know, unslave the planet that we're on, and rise as a humanity. But it's quite rare to learn from somebody like you who has a father, a physical father, who also knew he was Andromedan. So when did he reveal that to you during your life? And how was that helpful to you in this lifetime?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is something that I also repeat in my conferences or interviews, that even though people want to know their galactic origin, I don't think it's important. Because what it's important right now is to experience the human life as the best experience ever. That's what we're learning. We're learning to be human on Earth. And we bring with us everything that it's part of us to anchor that here on this planet at this moment. My father was always a very different person. He wasn't 100% Catholic. He was metaphysical. And because he had a ranch, he also learned from the Peruvian cosmogony to honor the elements. We know we have a lot of shamanism in the south of Peru. So it was a mix of different things. He was always very different. He always talked about metaphysical stuff and contact. And he was always, you know, every time lately, my father was 90 years old. So lately, every time I called, he was always saying to me, where are you calling from? In which planet are you now? You know, and as a joke. And after he passed, like he calls it conversations from the other side. you know, he always says to me, well, now I'm the one that is on the other planet, not you, you're on Earth now. And then he says, I'm in Andromeda. So I said, when did you notice you were from Andromeda? And he said, actually, before I died, because they told me you're coming to Andromeda because you're Marcela's father on Earth, but you're part of the same soul family in Andromeda. And that's why he's one of my guides now. And he travels in every photo that I take of him. He travels with 2 Andromeda beings when he shows up in my photos or as a holographic images.
Yeah.
And that's very intense. That's intense. when you know that everything was so perfect, we were learning how deep unconditional love can be on Earth, how a family can work in perfection on a human life. And sometimes we don't understand that our ties go beyond that. So for me, it's a totally new experience. And I'm learning also what happens when you cross over and you're back into your galactic origins, and what happens there. You continue on a mission, how you can guide people, how you can still teach people. And that's what I'm learning. I'm learning from him.
Yeah, truly, truly incredible, truly incredible. I think, again, you know, as we are learning more about galactic history and looking at Earth, that we've been programmed to think of, you know, gods, goddesses, and lords, and higher than us, and always to sometimes be in awe of, you know, see the dip down of the energy. The minute we take away from ourselves and we look at a structure that's been implemented by mankind or man unkind, it takes away from that innate power within us. And I'm always very suspicious myself of people who claim to be a king, you know, a queen, you know, and there are, you know, there was a lady running around my conference, bless her, and went up to somebody and said, well, I'm the queen. My friend said, I'm the queen of what? And she said, the queen of the universe. Bless.
Well, you know, as me that there's no nobility in the universe.
No nobility. Right, let me get you back up on screen. Well, hold on a sec. Put your, because this is really important, my love. So we can hear you. So I'm saying, I don't want to be unkind to the lady, but like, babe, you are not the queen of the universe. There's no such being, right? So now over to you, my love.
Well, there's no nobility in the universe. Basically, it's up to the level of consciousness you have developed through different lifetimes, and the consciousness of your own being, wherever you are or wherever you come from, which is not really important at this time, because what is important is what we are right now on Earth, what we can manifest, what we can remember, we can use to help humanity at these times of transformation, because this is it. We don't have any more time. We have to do it, and we have to do it right.
Yeah.
And I think that is very important, that it's all based on consciousness. And it doesn't matter even the level of consciousness, but knowing who you are, it's more than enough.
Yeah, knowing who you are is more than enough. And again, people realizing they're on their own. They're on their own. They think, if I go with this person or that person, I ride their coattails, I do this for them, that for them. It doesn't work, because it's not about the physical or the financial. It's about the emotional, about the consciousness, like you said. And like, there are people in Great Britain, where I'm from, like, I'm a Scottish Highlander. That's the major part of my DNA. Scottish Highlander, raised in the south of England, right? And there are people in Britain who have said to me, oh my God, I can't believe that you don't even talk about the Queen. I couldn't give a shit. It's so uninteresting. It's so unimportant. And in my lifetime, Marcela, like you, were given all these insights. And so when I became a nursery nurse, I got to work for aristocracy. I also got to work for the family that built the Canary Wharf. They're called the Reichmans, and they are Orthodox Jews, billionaires. This is years ago. The loveliest people, the people I work for, the loveliest, kindest, sweetest. I was there in a kitchen when a lord and a lady that I was working for got the newspaper, the Daily Mail in London. We were just down the road from Kensington Palace. Princess Diana was still alive. And they see the newspaper and it says, Charles is having an affair with Camilla. And then the Lord, I won't say his name, loved him, so loved that man. He was like, oh my God, oh my God. And his wife's going, oh my God. I'm like, what? Like, what's happening? And they're like, this is terrible. I'm like, are you telling me that's true? Are you telling me that Prince Charles is having an affair with Camilla Parker Bowles? And they're like, yes, Danny. I'm like, oh, holy shit. And then I said, well, why are you telling me that? And then the Lord, who I love, absolutely love, he went, well, who's going to believe you, Danny? You're the nanny. And I was like, well, good point.
Really? Yeah.
Good point. But it was, I so got to see in. And then you have your deadheads. You have these other people who are possessed with whatever they're possessed with that hear a story. They go, oh, Danny was, a nanny to the royalty. That must mean something. Yeah, it means I was a nanny to the royalty, dumbass. But what's happening now is the 2D people and the B-roll people are really showing up, like the woman who says, I'm a reptilian queen, and my conferences are, shut up and sit down, you boring ass. But now we're all there. It's all at the front. And so people who are attacking and fighting, they're falling away faster and faster. And then the terrible accusations that have gone on are like really in the light, and the truth is really there. And then when we see those who try and position themselves as the 48 DNA strand super soldier of the world, the lion commander, you're like, oh wow, liar, pants on fire. And isn't it funny? I mean, it's such a circus. But yeah, look at the light.
Well,
you see the light, Marcela, on you? You see the light? Can you see it? Where are you? This side, right side, dad's side, masculine? That was beautiful. Go ahead, my love.
I think
Speak your mind.
I know. I just wanted to say that duality is always present. It's present here and it's present everywhere. And for all of us, probably for a lot of people, we have gone through a lot of different challenges through our lives, especially this lifetime, against duality, because we always find somebody that is the opposite of what you're trying to prove. So there's a moment that we learn that duality exists. But once you know balance, then duality doesn't work, because you're in balance with yourself. But in everything that we still do on a 3D world, duality is present at all times. And I think it's very important the way you manage your conferences and the people that sometimes attack you, or in the subtle world. It happens, like to me, for example, through my life, I've been attacked so many times in the subtle world until you learn how to defend yourself with your own light. But it happens because that's the only way you can grow stronger. And then you can prove that it's your light and it's your truth and your own truth, the only one that you're going to share. It doesn't matter your name, your face, or nothing. It's just the light that you can share and bring down to the planet to help humanity.
That's so true. So as I look at you and see the beautiful light shifting and changing around you in that room, can you tell us the importance of the date, which is it the 31st today or the 1st? I forget, but between this window of light, the bridging of the light, can you tell us about what's been happening to you the last 24 hours?
Well, today is the 1st of November, which is 1/11. That also comes to a 3 when we talk about Trinity. But a lot of people are using today the 1/11 or the 11/1 as a portal of light. So probably there are many groups around the planet gathering together and meditating to bring down the light for peace, which is so much needed right now in the Middle East and for all of us. Here in Peru, where I am right now, we celebrate the Day of All Saints Day, which is a celebration of life, because tomorrow is the Day of the Dead people. So today it's a family gathering day where a lot of people are celebrating life. And that's what we're doing in my family. That is very, very short. But we're celebrating life and everything that my father taught us and left us And that's why I'm home here in Peru, just bringing down the light. And as I explained to you before, that you said there's not much light in the room, and I said, well, the window, the curtains are open, I'm turning on the light, but it's because of all the energy that is accumulating here. So it just changes. So if you see different things crossing around, it's because the high frequency that I think some of us already move into, and it's not that easy when you learn how to move into the multidimension and how to be conscious of living in the multidimension. But there's a moment when it's just easy, it's there, you just have to live with it.
Yeah, just amazing, amazing, amazing. Well, I can't thank you enough for allowing me to interview you on my channel again. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of the work that you do. And I love that you put together your groups and your gatherings, and you're bilingual, of course, or probably trilingual for all I know, Spanish speaking, English speaking, and you have that compassion for all of humanity. And yeah, so I'm just going to hand over to you now for your final words to the audience that will see this.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you so much for, taking your time to interview me, because as you know, I'm not a public person. I'm just guided to go wherever the universe puts me in. And you're connected to me through Alex Collier, which I respect a lot. And I also respect so much your work. And I said, I appreciate very much what you do for humanity also. I know a lot of people love you so much because everything that you bring through for people. And I think it's so important right now. And today, I would just like to ask people if for a second, they just pray or put all their intentions for peace. That's what we need for our planet. Thank you so much.
Ah, Marcela, you're so special. You are so special. Thank you for gifting us time. Thank you for saying yes to me, to coming on my channel. Really love you, really honor you, and really appreciate you very much.
Thank you so much, Dani. Infinite blessings to you. Thank you.
Blessings to you too, my love. And to you, the beautiful audience, thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. And do reach out to Marcela. Do connect with her on Facebook. Do follow her journey. She has hundreds of photographs of the most beautiful light beings, physical beings, ships, all kinds of ships. And she's a very, very special being at this time on our planet. All right, lots of love. My name is DANI Henderson. Yeah, you too, my love.
Thank you.
With the light coming up. Lighting up your throat chakra. Just great. I love it. I love it. Oh, I've lost the record button. Oh, I for you. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Bye. See you soon.